And now, welcome to Mad Mega Gaming. Brrrah,
Hello and welcome to Mad Mega Gaming. My name's Matt, and I'm the host of this podcast. Today I am joined by my good friends AJ, Richie, and Chris. How are you doing today, AJ?
I'm doing good, man. Ready to get this podcast going.
All right. How are you doing, Richie?
Man, I am chipper. I literally just ate a huge bowl of ice cream, and I honestly might run now.
All right. How are you doing today, Chris?
Not as good as Richie, but pretty good.
Pretty sure Richie's doing the best.
Okay. So today we're doing episode 0. We recorded episode 1, and I realized that we didn't really talk about who we are, so that you listeners out there can get an idea of why you should even listen to us in the first place. So I wanted to record this, which you should.
You should.
You definitely should.
But I wanted you to get to know us a little bit more. So who we are, we're Mad Mega Gaming. We are a group of friends who have other jobs and responsibilities outside of gaming, but we love playing games. We all went to high school together, but before we graduated, we all moved to different places across the country. Despite the distance between us, we've continued to play games together. We've been playing games together for so long, and we really haven't worked together that we decided we wanted to start a project that we could all have fun doing. And starting a video game website / YouTube channel / Twitch / podcast seemed like something we could all have fun doing and maybe learn a little bit more about gaming in general. So we started doing this podcast this week, the week before E3, and it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. It was late at night, and we were just like, man, what if we just started doing a podcast where we talk about video games? And then just that next day,
it was 1 in the morning, by the way.
Well, for me, it was still almost midnight.
I was dreaming and sleeping at the same time. So they did this behind my back.
Hey, well, you wanted to join in after we told you about it. So.
Hey, I'm stoked. I am excited for this.
So, yeah, it was amazing how the next day we started all cranking out, writing up news, doing graphic design type stuff, and writing music, and just trying to get this thing off the ground so that we can get some pre-E3 stuff and then be ready for E3. So these next few podcasts, the quality will be up there, but some of the edges might be a little rough. So we should probably get some of these introductions started. So I wanted to go around the table and have everybody describe what consoles they're playing on. So, Chris, you can go ahead and get started on what consoles do you have and play on now?
Yes, I am Richie, and Matt already introduced me, so I'll just introduce again, just to make sure anyone's not listening, because sometimes I don't listen, even to myself. But anyways, I like to play, Xbox. I'm sad to admit, but I actually do play the Wii U sometimes, but I'm most likely going to sell it pretty soon, so I'm not going to play it anymore. And I also play my freaking phone when I'm installing bored at work. So I have 3 different consoles technically.
What kind of games do you play on your consoles then? Like what games and genres are you really interested in?
Now, my all-time favorite genre of games I love to play has to be RPG. I mean, it's all story-based. You have a character. Sometimes with an MMORPG, you can play with friends, and you can have like a whole entire guild. You're just doing your own story, and you're just going through the whole game, doing quests, going into dungeons. And I just find it fascinating because it's just the perfect way to escape reality and just go into some fantasy world and just, go at it.
All right.
Do you have a specific type of RPG you like?
My all-time favorite is Skyrim. I did 100% on that game twice, and I just find that game so fascinating because it's so vast, it's so detailed, the graphics are amazing, the customization is amazing, and it's the perfect game to literally just escape because, there's so much places to discover that game, and I just love it.
Did you play the other Elder Scrolls games or just Skyrim?
I played Morrowind, and I also played the one after
Oblivion.
that, Oblivion. The Oblivion
Open the
is
gates.
opened.
Of Oblivion.
I played that one as well. The ending was morbidly stupid because two dragons fighting with horrible graphics don't look good. But I played Morrowind and Oblivion, so yeah, I've been a fan since Morrowind.
Okay, AJ, what kind of consoles and games do you play on?
Yeah, so the consoles that I play mainly on the Xbox One, but also own a PS4, and I play that for all the exclusives that come on that console. And then I have a sort of low-end PC that I can play, some of those indie PC games that come on there. I'm one of those guys that likes to own all consoles, so I pretty much play on anything.
Okay, and what kind of games are you playing on your consoles then?
That's a tough one because I'll pretty much play about any game, but I have to say my favorite genre is any game that is FPS. And I know that might not be a genre per se, but the FPS perspective is my favorite perspective of all time for games. And it's mainly due to the immersion. Like I feel like I connect better to the character. It's like I'm in their shoes, I'm seeing through their eyes. So any game that has a first person mode, I'm instantly drawn to it. I'm a big fan of shooters, more creative FPS games like Mirror's Edge, and then even those RPG games like Skyrim that have a first person mode within them, I'll dabble in
Yeah,
those as well. So any FPS game that's right up my alley, and I'm probably gonna give that a shot if it has the FPS perspective in it.
Would you say lean towards more story or gameplay?
I guess it depends on the mood, because I'll play like a good single player FPS game. Like a great example would be Wolfenstein: The New Order. That is a fantastic FPS shooter that came out. What is it? 2014? I think it
yeah.
came out. That's a fantastic story-driven FPS shooter. But then I'll also play the Call of Duties and the Battlefields. That has that really tight gameplay multiplayer within it.
That duty though.
Okay, so the consoles that I mostly play on PC, and I play Xbox One as well. I mostly just use the Xbox One to play with my friends here, and then the PC is more for my single player or older games that I haven't played that I'd like to play for cheap. I like to get in on those Steam sales and GOG sales and all that. Out of everybody in the group, I have the strongest PC because PC Master Race, of course, it's the best console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LOL.
Nah.
Honestly, guys, the Mac is way more powerful than a PC.
I'll stick to my Xbox any day, all day, baby.
And the games I like to play any game in 60 frames. So anything below that's just not even going to get on my radar. Just kidding.
Like, you actually turned down your graphics to make a 60 even though it looks garbage.
You know how frustrating it was to play Mass Effect with my PC?
N64 graphics are now, but at least it's 60 frames per second.
Until I found a graphics mod that helped with the frame rate, I had everything turned off on Mass Effect 1, and I was still only getting 40 to 45 frames. That's not why I got a PC.
So you deem that game unplayable?
It was. I did not play.
Terrible.
Dang, Daniel.
So, yeah. Okay.
So does it bother you that movies that you watch aren't in 60 frames?
So I've actually researched into this and why that's fine and it's not. It's because each individual frame on a game is a solid picture, but frames in a movie are blurred because they get that movement. So you have that simulation of movement. So even though it's not 60 frames, you're still getting that sense of momentum and motion from the
But what
movie.
if it wasn't?
Let me ask you this: you watched an HFR movie before?
I've not, but I'd be interested in checking it out.
You'd love it. It's pretty amazing.
I'm sure I would. So the kind of games I do play, recently I've been getting really into MOBAs, specifically Smite. I used to play Dota, but I suck at Dota, so I switched over to Smite because that game is more my style.
Smite is the best MOBA.
Smite.
You gotta love Smite.
Smite is
the
the
most
master
fun
race
MOBA.
of MOBA.
I think the
the best
Manila
MOBA.
Major's going on in Dota right now. So like after we're done After we're done recording this podcast, I'm gonna go watch that probably. And then I've also been playing Paladins, Dark Souls, Darkest Dungeon, and Stardew Valley have been my most recent games. But MOBAs and RPGs seem to be my favorite. Stardew Valley? I don't know if we've talked about that.
No, I haven't heard about it.
It's like Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon put together.
What?
Is what people say. It's awesome.
That's pretty sick.
I'm just waiting for the next update right now because it's adding in a bunch of stuff that I want. But I don't want to overplay the game. So when that update comes out, I'm going to start completely over and just get into it. Because, man, that game is a time sink. That's awesome.
Yeah, I picked up the game.
Okay.
I cleared out my front plot. Played it again.
Wait, you did what now?
I just cleared out my front plot because I got a couple seeds from the mayor or whatever. And I cleared out my plot.
Spoilers.
And that was the
Whoa.
first 2 minutes.
What's even a mayor? Jeez.
Do you have any girls yet? You talking to any girls yet in that game?
Uh-oh. Virtual.
I didn't meet anyone outside my little 4x4 plot outside.
Okay.
That virtual Jack.
Virtual Dacko. Jack Marathon.
Okay, I think we got everybody, so we can just move on to the next section.
Whoa!
Chris, you're the first person I called.
I got commandeered by.
I thought Chris already went.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought we just cut that out of the podcast.
It's so terrible, gotta be edited.
Okay, Chris, what kind of consoles do you play on, and what kind of games do you play?
Oh gosh, I got gas.
Pretty much own.
That's a cool console.
I pretty much own every console except the Nintendo consoles.
Dang.
Exception to the
'Cause they suck.
3DS. 3DS is a good console. But I primarily play on PC and PS4. And for multiplayer, I usually use the Xbox. But for games alike, I would say action games, action RPGs, and JRPGs. Usually something with a rich story.
So something like God of War, that kind of action game.
Yeah, I like God of War. Like for example, PS4, like Uncharted series, I really enjoy.
So like Tomb
And
Raider, Uncharted,
RPGs
and
typically
everything.
have some really good stuff. Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
really cinematic games.
Oh, those are awesome.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider is amazing.
Still haven't played Rise of the Tomb Raider, but I need to pick that up.
Yeah, that's a pretty incredible game.
My
Yeah, I played the
question
demo, it looked
with that
amazing.
game is, why is she rising? Why doesn't she just take a seat and just chill? My
Just climb up the
gosh.
mountain.
I'm pretty. Sometimes she has to be in a valley at some point.
I don't know. I haven't
So-
played the game yet.
It should be called Luring and Rising of Tomb Raider.
That's in Syria, isn't it?
The Lowering and the
Yeah, I believe so.
Raider.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Something
know
like that.
I think it's
Siberia.
Yeah, I don't think it was Siberia. It was some Middle Eastern country.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
It's part of.
Wasn't it Nepal?
I think it's Syria, and then
Guess no one knows.
other parts is somewhere in the North Pole. There is snow. I know that.
Wait, so there's there might even be an Antarctica map, if I recall.
I mean, the game
Oh, look
looks
at
so
Congo.
cold. You literally have to wear a sweater.
You have to eat penguins and shit.
You gotta eat butter.
Laura,
I
she
just
puts on a
looked it
few
up in
pounds
Syria.
by the end of the game.
The only way we can survive is if we eat the feces and the blubber.
Laura, you've gained a few pounds there.
Sorry, I'm a
Act 4, Hibernation.
Rise
of
Tomb Raider Hibernation Remix.
That Rise, Son of Rome, taking it back.
Dang.
Oh, Rise, Son of Rome.
Great game.
Now on PC too.
Still one of the best looking games this generation.
So, Chris, you mentioned JRPGs. Did you happen to play Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1?
I started it on your recommendation. I played a good, I think, 2 hours. But yeah, it's all right.
You don't. Oh,
I don't know about the best game ever.
Well, I didn't say it was the best game ever. I said it was like the best JRPG I've ever played. So good.
All
I
right.
don't know
Yeah, it's
anything
kinda
about
like,
that game.
I feel like I'm out of the loop. What's JRPG?
Like
Jack
the
and RPG.
Japanese Jack and Simulator.
So it's just Japanese RPG?
It,
And for
like
those
Final
who
Fantasy
don't
is a
know what
JRPG.
RPG is, technically it's Japanese role-playing game. So
Rocket propelled grenade.
that's a tongue twister if you think about it. That's pretty cool though.
JRPG.
Okay.
Like Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy 15. What?
Is anyone getting that Final Fantasy 15 Collector's Edition? The Ultimate Collector's Edition?
Man. I'm gonna have to ask
I'm
my
not sure if
wife.
I'll pick it up.
She rules the house with a freaking iron fist.
Guess what?
You
I've already got it pre-ordered.
What?
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Nice.
Dang, Daniel.
Like, I want to
We'll be
get it.
providing the
Just,
review.
I don't think I'd have enough time.
Well, I mean, time doesn't matter. You just get that statue, get all the collectibles, and just let it sit.
Time is of the essence.
Wait, AJ, have you opened your Metal Gear Solid Collector's Edition?
So I did purchase Metal Gear Solid 5 Collector's Edition at launch. It still has not been opened.
Why?
It's such a
What's your
good
problem. You psycho.
There's man, during that time there were so many games and just never had a chance to play it, so
That is true.
it's still sitting there.
I'm waiting for the Steam Summer Sale to pick it up on PC. I played through a good chunk of it on Xbox. Had a weird glitch where the audio from the main characters wouldn't play even though I could hear the enemies. So I'm just waiting for it on PC at this point.
Can your PC run it?
My PC can run Witcher 3 at almost max at 60. So I'm pretty sure I can run Metal Gear Solid. And I'm going to have the Great Wolf Sif song play every time the helicopter comes to get me.
Wolf Sith.
Like, can you customize what music plays?
On the PC you can.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Is it usually that French song that's in the trailer?
On the consoles you can choose music from the game, so I had Snake Eater theme play every time the helicopter picked me up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was
Snake
cool
Eater.
too though.
Snake Eater.
It's the Metal Gear.
Not to
You
get
have
too
the
off
body
topic.
of a child.
Did you guys see the trailer for the new Metal Gear
Crotch
Solid 3
grabber.
remastered Pachinko machine?
Pachinko machine.
I'm
Did you
not
guys see the
familiar
trailer
with
for
that.
It's fully rendered and it looks like Fox Engine Metal Gear Solid 3 trailer for their Pachinko machine that they're bringing out. This isn't becoming a game you can play at home. It's for a Pachinko machine.
That is
Cinco.
legit. Snake Eater was a fantastic game.
Dude, Snake Eater.
That was my favorite Metal Gear
honestly,
Solid.
Yeah, I
It's
think it
easily
might
the
have to
best
be my
Metal Gear
favorite.
Solid.
Between Snake Eater and Metal Gear Solid 1, it's tough.
Dude, Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid 5
Oh.
is so good.
Still haven't
That's
played
the
it
recent
or
one, right?
Ground Zeroes.
5 is the recent one. And 5, I could not play Ground Zeroes, but 5, that game played so well. That some of the most solid play, or some of the most solid gameplay I've played in years.
Dang, I need to get that.
I would
I keep
definitely
telling
recommend
myself
it.
that I'll beat Peace Walker first, but I'm never getting around to that.
Just do
It
what I
sucks
did. There's
how-
a
Metal Gear Solid 4 only came out for PlayStation. Like, that's so it's freaking stupid.
I mean, you could probably pick up a PS3 pretty cheap and play it. It was my favorite in the series up until I played 5.
Dang.
But yeah, Chris, if you just go watch, there's YouTube videos out there, someone with all the cutscenes from Metal Gear Solid, Peace Walker. Just do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I might end
Peace
up doing
Walker,
that
and I
with
hear a
4.
lot of people. I know a lot of people like that game, but I just couldn't continue.
The story was really interesting, and I wish I could have played it, but I don't. I think I don't think Peace Walker HD did it come to Xbox One?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Yeah, so I just watched that so I
think
could
that was
get into
360.
5. I still didn't understand the story for 5.
Dang. That
But did you watch all the graphic novels and all that? Yeah, that will fill it in.
Oh, that might have been why I didn't understand. Because it's
I'm
a
not
big
sure
boss's
when
story,
the time limit falls, but
and it's a bunch of characters. I think from one of the other games before. What was the prequel to Peace Walker?
5,000.
Peace Walker isn't that just Metal Gear Solid 3?
I think there's one in between. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Metal Gear Acid? No, those were the.
Those are different.
That's
Metal
after
Gear
one.
VR missions.
That was a good game though. I did love that game. I played Metal Gear VR missions before I played Metal Gear Solid 1.
What is this? What is? I've never even
VR
heard of this
missions
stuff.
is a classic. What a great game.
I've never even heard of
Wasn't
this.
that like a disc too?
I think it was a separate game.
It was his own game, man.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know
just.
where I played it then.
I rented it from the store. I think
Dang
you
it.
play as Gray Fox and just do VR missions.
I think that there may have been some sort of like edition of one of the later games that might have included VR missions within it.
Oh yeah, Metal Gear
That might have
Solid 3
been
Subsistence
Subsistence.
included
Yep,
that.
that's it. But those PS1 days, man, VR missions
And what
used
was
to
it
piss
called?
me off.
I think it was
Metal
Metal
Gear
Gear Solid
Solid
VR
VR missions.
missions,
Oh,
which I think
this
was
one.
just
I actually remember seeing this.
it was like a
That
just
was
challenge
legit.
mode. It was fun though. I had a lot of fun with it.
It was
Yeah.
literally VR missions, literally.
It's so cool.
Great challenges.
Oh wait,
It's
actually, I
pretty
think it was in
frustrating.
my. I think it came with an MGS1 and with a bonus disc.
Okay, because I
Could have been as well, but
I beat Metal Gear Solid 1 on. I bought the collection that had 1, 2, and 3 in it, and I don't think VR
Nice.
missions came in that pack. I could be wrong.
yeah, I don't think those came with all the extra content.
One of these days, I got to go back and finish 3. I got stuck on the end fight, and then
Dang.
my
The
memory
end.
card got corrupted, and I didn't feel like
Aw,
replaying the
man.
entire beginning of the game again.
That sucks. I
So I
always
just
hate
said,
when that happens.
whatever. But people say it's the best one, and I had fun with it up until.
That Snake Eater is so epic. It was so
Oh, it's so
advanced
good.
for its time.
Seriously, and the graphics were amazing for its time
I
as
was
well.
blown away.
Changing
Do you remember
different
the,
camo and the camo percentage, and you were
Yeah,
eating
yep.
snakes and random
That
animals.
was
And
amazing. Heck yes.
oh man, dude, such a
You
I
great
remember I
game.
spent like 2 hours on the end, the boss, because I was trying to sneak my whole way through it.
Oh yeah, not killing a person.
You can kill the end early, right?
I
You
think if
can
you
do
snipe,
like
I think there's a certain part of the game where you can snipe him, and then
Yeah.
he would die there.
Dang.
And
oh
then-
yeah, when he's in the wheelchair.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then alternatively, I think if you pause the fight or something and then leave and come back in a few hours,
Oh.
then he'll just die
heard
from
about
old
that.
age or something.
I
Yeah,
heard about
that's what
that.
happened with my brother.
That's such an incredible like hidden feature, man. That's one thing
Kojima's a
I
genius.
like. I love when games do that with bosses. Dark Souls 1 is a great example with the ceaseless discharge, but those hidden
Oh,
ways
yeah.
to defeat bosses is just so awesome, man. I love it.
Okay, so this next section, I just kind of want to get an idea of how gaming entered our lives, because I actually don't know how you guys started gaming. So I'm curious as to hear your stories. So we can go ahead and start with, let's say, Richie.
Me? Okay. Hi guys. I'm gonna let you guys know again. I am Richie. Anyways, it all started when I was honestly, I feel like spiritually, subconsciously, in every part of me aspect. I feel like ever since I was born, just gaming has been in my house. My parents always had a Super Nintendo, and I honestly think since I could function as a human being when I was 3 years old, I started playing Super Nintendo and playing Mario and stuff. And always just collecting the different cartridges and having the experience of, hey, my cartridge isn't working. So you have to blow in the bottom, put it back in, heck, blow inside the system. And honestly, just since I was a little kid, always played games from Super Nintendo to Sega Saturn. And honestly, it's been part of my life, literally my whole entire life. And I just have a huge passion for it.
How about you, Chris? How did your gaming life begin?
Well, when I was either 4 or 5, got my first, or actually my brother got his Sega Genesis, which came with Sonic Pinball and Sonic and Knuckles. And I think eventually we got the Spider-Man game, which was incredible. That's what started the game experience. And we got a Game Boy, the Game Boy Color. And I think when I was actually more serious about gaming, that was kickstarted when we got the Nintendo 64 at one of the Christmases.
Okay. How about you, AJ? How did your gaming life begin?
Yeah, so my gaming life began back when I was probably 4 or 5, and that was when I got my Super Nintendo. So I still remember the black box that it came in. It was bundled with Super Mario World, and it was freaking awesome. And I, took it out, opened it, plugged it up. I also had Mortal Kombat, the first one, so that was a lot of fun. And that's really where it all started. So about 4 or 5, playing that Super Nintendo with my family and with friends, playing the Super Mario World, fighting people in Mortal Kombat, and then it just sort of went on from there. Ever since I had that Super Nintendo, I pretty much literally got every console that I could get after that. So I got some of the Sega Genesis. I know the Sega Genesis had a second and third version. I got those. I got PS1, Sega Dreamcast, the N64. I got everything, and my love for gaming only increased as more games came out, more consoles came out, and things just got more advanced. And ever since 4 or 5 playing on Super Nintendo, it started there and just kept growing. And I've probably been a dedicated gamer since that first Super Nintendo and playing Super Mario World.
Yeah, it's a console that I never owned.
That's interesting because I feel like everyone had a Super Nintendo. I don't think I knew anyone who didn't have a Super Nintendo.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is insane.
Well, I guess you said you started with the Genesis, right? That came out like
like
How old were you?
80s.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
So I think I had like a newer version of the Genesis because I think there were different variations. Yeah, we only owned 3 or 4 games total. Yeah, Sonic Knuckles, Sonic Pinball, Pac-Man Adventures, and Spider-Man.
Did you have a Saturn?
No. So my parents didn't really buy me games when I was young. It was pretty rare. So I got the Genesis, then the 64. So there's quite a gap between those two. Then after that, my first console was the GameCube. And until I started, working and getting some money and buying games for myself, I didn't really have too many games.
Okay,
How about you, Matt? What was your start to gaming?
So my start with gaming was with the Super Nintendo. Man, we had a bunch of games, just a huge stack of maybe 10 to 20 games. And I don't remember exactly
Jeez.
when, but my dad at some point had picked up Street Fighter 2 with a fight stick, and the fight stick became my main controller. So all the games that I played when I was a kid, Super Mario, Street Fighter, Donkey Kong Country 2, all of them were played on fight stick. I don't even remember what our Super Nintendo controller looked like because I only played on the fight stick.
That's interesting.
Wait, flight stick like a joystick?
Yeah, a joystick with 6 buttons, a fight stick.
Really?
Which is
I've
so
never heard of
funny
that.
because that's the last
Wait,
time I owned a fight
so
stick.
You played Street Fighters on a flight stick, Super
On a
Nintendo.
Fight stick.
Fight stick.
A
Oh,
fight
like
stick.
an arcade control pad.
They thought that you meant like a freaking
Like a-
flight simulator, like
And I was
joystick.
like,
Yeah, that's
wait,
what I
how
was
you
thinking. I was
doing
like,
that?
whoa.
No,
Dang.
a fight stick, yeah,
Those are the
like an arcade
best
machine.
controllers for that too. It's
Oh, dude,
awesome.
Oh, dude, I love that thing. It was so heavy too, and just it felt so good
Dang.
just sitting on the floor with that huge fight stick and just playing games. Like that's my memory of the Super Nintendo was that fight stick, and which is
That's
so
pretty
weird
legit.
that I haven't owned any fight sticks since.
Dang.
Dang, you just left it back there.
Are you
That's
still
legit.
into are you still into fighting games?
I got really into Skullgirls. I wasn't good, so I didn't play online. I got really into MK9, and then I got into Street Fighter 4 for a little bit. And then I think this fighting game that they have stuck with the most over the years has been Super Smash Bros. Melee,
Oh baby.
Oh, smash.
Oh baby.
which I don't
That
think would
Melee.
work well with a fight stick.
So Chris, since you never had a Super Nintendo, have you played any of those iconic games like Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 1, Donkey Kong Country 2? Any of the other Mario Bros games, and like Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, all those kind of games. Did you ever play any of those since you never had one?
Yeah, so my one of my cousins actually had a Super Nintendo, so whenever I went over there, I always played it. And when I got older, I played on emulators and all that.
Okay,
So I got caught up with all the classics.
nice.
Like Ranma 1/2 Hard Battle.
I did play that.
Wait, really? That's funny.
I have played that, yeah. I played all these obscure games.
So since it looks like we've all, well, at least me, Richie, and Matt started from Super Nintendo, and Chris, you started from Genesis, but you've played some Super Nintendo. I'm curious, what are your favorite Super Nintendo games? Like, if you could pick one that was your all-time favorite Super Nintendo game, what would that be?
Well, definitely. My all-time favorite, and it's like the ultimate co-op game, was Kirby Super Deluxe.
Oh,
that
man,
You
was
guys play that?
amazing.
that
Heck
is an
yes.
amazing game.
Never played
That
it.
player 2, oh man. So for the co-op,
Full
the one player
wreckage.
is Kirby, right? And the second player is going to be whoever Kirby sucks up. So he gets his abilities when he, swallow the enemy. But he can press a button and create whatever he swallowed into player 2.
Does he still have the power?
He's basically that character with all its abilities.
No, but does Kirby still have
Kirby
the power?
does. Kirby loses the power. Just kind of make a choice. Do you want to play that cool character, or do you want to let your second guy play?
I'm sorry, Chris, but I'm Link Kirby. I can't give this to you right now.
It's all about the yo-yo Kirby.
Well, now that we're talking about that right now, my favorite Super Nintendo game. I know it's so cliche, but let's be honest. My all-time favorite Super Nintendo game, it's honestly Mario. I mean, but again, I don't know. It's a whole lot because there's Jurassic Park, Is the Jungle Book
Oh
game.
man,
Heck,
I forgot about
the
Jurassic Park.
what is it? The Lion King game.
Oh,
You know what?
And
No,
that
I'm
was
just gonna
a
say
weird game.
the Lion
What a
King
great
game
game.
was my favorite Super
Playing
Nintendo
as
game
Simba.
of all time. I mean, it was awesome, especially when you're going through the river, I'm guessing, and you jump on the giraffes and the hippos and everything. It was so frustrating, but it was still so fun. That was my favorite, honestly.
Nice.
Lion King.
Matt, what was your favorite, bro?
This one's going to be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to go with a game that I have the most memories about, and that's going to be Donkey Kong Country 2. Playing as
That was a great game.
Ooh, that
a
was
fun
good.
game. I think
That was
Dixie
awesome.
Kong was the female character.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I remember, man, was playing and using the little helicopter hair thing, and that's my probably strongest memory from the Super Nintendo. Good
So
game.
that's actually not a controversial pick because that is my favorite Super Nintendo game as well.
Dang.
Yep.
That's
Nice.
surprising.
I love me some Donkey Kong Country 2 to the point where I like watch speed runs of it, every
Dang.
year when the game's done quick. I tune into the Donkey Kong Country 2 segment because I just absolutely love that game so much. I got the characters are awesome, the level design was fantastic, and we spent so long just trying to beat that game, and it's definitely just probably my favorite game from Super Nintendo.
Nice. You know what? Actually, there's another good game that I think about it, and it's coming out into the big screen. Hint, hint. Theaters, movies, if you know what I mean. Freaking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That was an incredible
Dude.
game, and it was
Oh
such
my
good
God.
co-op.
Dude, that's a great point because that was a badass game, and I did have that game.
When did the Game
Heck
Gear
yeah.
come out? Because I had that on Game Gear too.
I think the Game Gear was
Gear.
around
Oh,
around
man.
the same time.
I want to get a Game Gear.
The Game Gear took about 50
Oh my
double
God,
A's.
dude. You'd have to
They
count
only
the
lasted
amount of
2
batteries
hours.
in that thing. I think it took 6 or 8 AA
Oh
batteries.
my gosh, that's insane.
1990.
And that thing did not
Wasn't it-
last long at all.
It looked
Was
good
it in
though.
color though?
It was color.
Yeah,
And the graphics were actually pretty good. Like they were comparable to like
it
Genesis.
was, it was way better than freaking Game Boy Pocket.
It was better than any of those first Game Boy iterations.
Yeah, and I
But
mean,
it
it
was
took
just
Game Boy
huge. It was
a while
massive
to
though.
like.
It was really
catch
massive.
up.
What's your favorite Game Gear game?
I never had a Game Gear. I was always that kid who wanted it.
I think it was one of the Sonic Game Gear games. I'd been like a Sonic 2 Game Gear game.
Chris, did you say you played on a Game Gear or no?
My friend had a Game Gear. I never actually played it.
It
Or
was
own
too
one.
greedy.
I think
Can I
one
try
of the,
it?
I think one of the best games I played on there was the Lion King game. That's why when you said that earlier, I was like, huh, I played that on the Game Gear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Because the
It was
Game Gear
hard.
could run those games, and it was like the quality was just as good.
Dang, that's awesome.
That's why it was so massive. That thing was huge.
Burn through batteries so quickly. It got to the point where my mom stopped buying me Game Gear batteries because I was burning through them so quickly.
Holy, that's expensive.
So I'd only get to use it on long road trips.
Did they have any rechargeable batteries back then?
I don't know, man. You take up like an entire room just trying to charge the batteries for that thing because it took so many.
That thing took a lot of batteries, man.
Well, it's like 8 batteries.
It was like, I can look it up. I was looking.
It was like 6 or 8 batteries, man. It was a lot.
Dang. Powered by 6 AA batteries. Approximate battery life of 3 to 5 hours.
Jeez.
That is
It sucks
nothing.
how it just died. Like you don't hear about it. Game Gear and that it didn't get better or it just died.
I think Sega was going through some growth issues at that time.
Yep.
So
It's sad. Sega was so amazing.
I'm just glad I was one of the few people that owned a Sega Dreamcast because that system was freaking awesome.
I always heard that.
I do like that console. My cousin
Sega
had one of those too.
Dreamcast was amazing. It was incredible. It had
Yeah.
some great games on it. The controller was actually really comfortable. The
That's
memory
one that was
cards
kinda
were
like
really cool.
Like a Batwing controller, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was so comfortable, man. It felt good. Triggers felt good. Joysticks felt good. The memory card was
what-
like a freaking Tamagotchi pet. It was freaking awesome.
Dang, that's awesome.
What is that screen that's on the controller? I used one of those before.
So that was like the memory card, man. So
Oh, that's a memory
like,
card?
yeah. So if you didn't have the memory card in, it was just there was no screen. So the screen was the memory card.
Dang, that's pretty
The memory
sick.
card-
card
that's
could
cool.
like do other things on it as well.
Nice.
That thing was awesome. It was
Yeah.
a great system, man. The graphics for the game was really good, and some great games
I
came
remember
out
playing
of it.
I remember playing some DBZ game on that at my cousin's place.
DBZ.
Yep. But one of the best fighting games besides Melee was Power Stone. That came from Dreamcast.
Dang.
Oh,
And
Power
that is
Stone, I remember
that is an incredible, like, just arena brawler from that era. And I played the absolute hell out of that game. And then they made a second one, and it was even more awesome. That is just like if they could bring a game back, I would love for them to bring that back and into this era. And there's actually a game that's coming out this year. I think it's an indie game that has a Power Stone vibe. I can't remember the name of it right now, but there is an indie game coming out either this year or next year that has that Power Stone style gameplay, beat 'em up. And so check that out. I can't recall the name, but give that a look up, and that might
Wait, you're
scratch
talking
your
about
Power
Power
Stone itch.
Stone,
Power Stone.
Dreamcast. I
Yep.
actually remember playing it all the time.
It's a
That
great
game
game.
was incredible.
And he had a Dino Crisis. Great game.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I
Like-
know what I played on, like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was
There you
amazing.
go.
Seriously, one of the best fighting games of all time.
Played Typing of the Dead on that game. Classic.
King of Fighters I played.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Wasn't
That system was
wasn't the
awesome.
Dead or Alive series also on there for a while?
I believe so. And he had like the Sonic games.
A whole bunch of Sonic games that were awesome.
The Sonic Adventure.
Sonic coulda.
And that's the Titan. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us today. My name is Matt, and I'm the jungler.
And I'm AJ, the carry.
And I'm Richie, the solo laner.
And I'm Chris, the support.
You can follow us on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. The details will be up on our SoundCloud. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. That's all for Mad Mega Gaming. We'll chat later.
Oh, that's good.